Good morning, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to BFM's Morning Headlines. It is the 21st of July. Now I'm going to start with this headlines. Look at that. Wanted for mass murder. Look at those images. It looks like a poster for a movie, doesn't it? Yeah, and in fact, it has a bit of that quality. I think the kind of sensational headline here, but it does reflect real anger on the ground at what has happened and perhaps a little bit of bewilderment. Malaysian caught in a vortex of geopolitical intrigue in the Ukraine. As Malaysians struggle to understand all kinds of things are happening, all of this morning has been MH17, and there you have it. Key to unlocking the mystery. So one of the most sensible, I think, headline stories to this morning. Here it is. That is, of course, the famous black box. There are two on these planes. And the questions that the NST asked, they say will be answered by the black box is, why did the aircraft deviate? Were there fighter planes shadowing MH17? And why was MH17's request to fly at 35,000 feet denied? They were asked to fly at 33. One of the most misleading headlines and front pages of the morning is this. Harian Metro, a hugely popular newspaper, says 196 bodies disappeared. Now, is that what's happened? No, actually, that's completely wrong. And you can have Berita Harian and such answer that. In fact, what happened to the 196 bodies is they were taken from where they had fallen and from the field and put in a train, refrigerated containers in a train. So that's actually what happened. They weren't disappeared, as in fact Utusan itself also suggests. Here they go with disembunyi, which means hidden. Now that's also not true. And there you have it. The black box has been found. The question is in whose hands it will go after this. The rebels who control this part of eastern Ukraine are saying it's going to go to the international body in charge of this, but we wait to see if that's going to happen. Needless to say, people are angry. The Prime Minister says they wants the bodies back before the end of Raya, and that's reflected there in Sina Harian's plea, please bring back the bodies. The fact that the bodies have been moved, but Alexander Borodai, who was on the front pages of the Malay Mail, I'll show you, that's him. That's him in the blue suit, looking very dapper with the handphone. He said that, in fact, he thought they were being compassionate by taking the bodies that were decomposing in the fields and putting them in the refrigerated train. But that, of course, means that the site is tainted, and that's the headline in The Sun this morning. The Star also has its plea for the bodies to be handed over. And because Malaysians are not the only ones involved, in fact, the Dutch suffered much more than we did. Anger again, I just want to point to this headline. Dastards will pay for MH17. Dastardly acts are not done by dastards. They're done by bastards. Yes, bastards do dastardly acts. They're not dastards. So I guess they didn't want to print that, so they have this. Other news, major things, and you might want to check out the inside pages of The Star. This is a story about something that's very important for Selangorians. Today, a decision will be made at the PKR Supreme Council meeting. They're going to decide who is going to replace Khalid Ibrahim, our current Menteri Besar. Is it going to be that man or is it going to be that woman? Wan Aziza, Azmin Ali. They could be put together on a slate and put to the palace, or PKR could just choose one. Question is, who is it going to be? And we'll know by the end of the day. Other decision that's going to be important, and we're covering that on BFM this morning on radio quite a bit, is tomorrow's official results of the Indonesian presidential elections. That's Farish Noor, a Malaysian academic based in Singapore. Worth reading. That's in the comments section of the New Straits Times. Lastly, just to note, and I'm always interested in this, a generation, an extraordinary generation of Malaysians passing. This is the first Malay woman doctor. She died at the age of 95. She went to university before World War II and became a doctor. An extraordinary achievement for a woman at that time in our history. So something to read if you're interested in history. But before I leave, there is a word of the day. And the word of the day is bastard. The word is bastard. Yes, a complex word with roots deep in history, but I think the feeling of which and the meaning of which I don't even have to explain. That's all we have on BFM's Morning Headlines. I'm Sharaad Kuttan, BFM 89.9.